The one constant through all the years has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It has been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, it is a part of our past. It reminds us of all that once was good and that could be again.
I like the Babe Ruth saying, don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing.
Besides family, baseball is a very close second. My wife might argue that it comes first, but it's a close second. It's been a huge part of my life.
Developed a lot of friendships and great memories.
Tom Ainsworth, East Grand Rapids Community College, Aquinas College. Honored to be out here playing at a legendary field with a lot of friends that still stay in contact with. But looking forward to playing out here on this historic field. Hoping to go deep.
Last played baseball in 1981. So Dave Gumpert is pitcher from Aquinas College, and him somehow got together and said, hey, you play, I'll play. So Ains hasn't played in 43 years. We get to the first practice, the guy's got no glove. He's got no spikes, nothing, no catcher's gear. He wants to catch. So I said, can you squat? He says, yeah. So he goes down to one squat and comes back up. I said, no, you know what I mean. Can you stay down there for an extended time to catch? Oh, yeah, I think I could do that. So then he says, hey, you got any pants? Hey, yeah, I can get you some pants. So I get him a brand new pair of pants that I bought a long time ago. And then the next practice he said, can I wear tennis shoes? I said, well, if you want. Do you have any spikes? No, Ains, I don't have any extra spikes. But anyway, Ains and I have known each other. Many people years ago, when we were younger, thought we were brothers. And played a little bit together with Sullivans. Dave Gumpert was playing for the Cubs. Ains would sneak into the locker room and try to get bats from other players, and he had a collection of bats. And the clubhouse attendant at Wrigley, Yash Kawano, came chasing him out from the clubhouse because he grabbed Rafael Primero's bat.
Played roughly about 5-6 years after Jesse and I played. And the one connection we do have is John Anderson, the great Sparky John Anderson. One of the most best baseball minds guy I ever knew.
Another time, Gump told me that he was out in the outfield shagging before the game in St. Louis, and here he looks over at the batting cage, and here's Ains with his elbow propped up on the batting cage talking to some Cardinals hitters as they're taking BP. Anyway, great guy. Glad to have him on the team, and I think he's had a good time.
Al Kaline, number 6, he was my hero growing up. From the time we went to my first game in 1961, I still have all the little black and white glossies that I bought, and Bill Freehand. So anytime I had the chance to choose a number, I always was number 11. Al Emery, Cedar Springs, Michigan, just here playing the Field of Dreams with my buddies. One of those bucket list things. And in memory of my favorite MLB catcher of all time, Bill Freehand.
Actually, his junior year in baseball was when we really got a little tight. As we got older and we still hung out and played some ball games together, I always tried to get buying that extra beer.
One night I'm sitting home doing nothing, sitting on my couch, And Louis calls. Says, Al, you got to get down here right now. I'm sitting here with your hero. And he had thrown BP for the Whitecaps, and Bill Freehand was a roving catching instructor at the time. So I grabbed a ball, and then I found an old card, a baseball, and I zipped down to Fifth Third Park, and we sat the entire game with Bill Freehand, and he was just the greatest guy. And he told stories about Mickey Mantle and all the crazy things that happened, and so we had a chance to sit down with him and spend a night watching a baseball game, which is certainly one of my favorite things to do anyway. The people here anyway are people who have passed in and out of your life through our last 70 years. And some stay and some don't, and some you haven't seen in forever, and some you see every day and go fishing with and hang out with, and it's just the beauty of long-term friendships.
We had so many crazy good times. We started to do this every fishing trip. It used to be just Al and I. And then as the kids came along, our kids really enjoyed each other's company. And we just had some unbelievable fun times with all the boys together.
Al and I knew each other in high school, but really didn't get to be real close until after high school. We invited Al to play with us, and we ended up winning the district stand usual tournament, which Al has his shirt on.
Shirt on.
We went to
30-year-old shirt.
Went to Battle Creek in 1992 and played in a tournament.
Playing against 20-year-olds.
A few of those.
We're all like 38 to 42.
We did coach at varsity baseball against each other.
That's right.
Because we used to set up tournaments with
when I was in middle
our
school.
teams, both JV and varsity.
It was a great time now.
Hi, Rick Phyllis here at Dyersville, living the dream, playing baseball at 66 years old.
Well, Rick Phyllis is still got the tool. Got a nice little spinner, mixing it up, throw strikes. But not only that, the guy can play outfield, he can play infield, and he hits the snot out of the ball. Yeah. And we're glad to have Rick.
Got my biggest cheerleader here, Mindy, playing with a bunch of my college friends, guys I've met through the years playing ball. Tell you, it's amazing to be this age and still be able to enjoy the game. So can't say enough about how blessed we are.
Rick is no longer coaching, and he wants to start playing baseball again. He came out first day, I think went 3 for 4, stole 2 bases, and eventually ended up going to some tournaments with us and never knew he could pitch. One year we won 4 games and lost 10, and he won all 4 games. Continued to play. He got married. My son-in-law actually presided over his wedding, him and Mindy, and then they continued to play baseball, and we play golf together, and he retired now from his job. They're good friends of ours too. Jim Berkey was a friend of mine. I played with him at Aquinas. He was actually our coach at JC for a year before he transferred to Aquinas, and then ended up playing with him in the summertime for Sullivan's, and actually, and his 2 sons played with us, and actually coached against his would-be granddaughter in the Granville Little League. But the other one was Al Ziskowski, who passed away too early in life too. Well, Andy Canoza got released by the Tigers minor league system, came back and played for Sullivan's, and he had a decent minor league career, but he had a couple guys in front of him that ended up making it to the major leagues. But he was feisty, a little scrawny guy. He'd fight a guy 6'5", 250. Anyway, he ended up playing with us later on, and he played some young team, I think Birmingham Lynch.
He was in his early 40s.
He was, they were mocking us because we were old. They called us old men.
Threw the glove against their dugout fence.
Come on
challenged
out.
them all.
Come on out.
So we all emptied out the dugout, and these kids are all 19 to 22, and D1 players
Michigan
in college.
team.
Man, they froze. They didn't know what to do. They didn't come out of the dugout. The umpire said, hey, settle down. Anyway, at the end of the game, they beat us by a run or 2. They said, hey, we're really sorry, you guys still play pretty damn good. It was a fun time. Earned some respect that day.
Hi, my name's Dave Gumpert. Got invited to come play in this tournament. I thought it would be a great opportunity because I'd never been here before.
Well, Dave Gumper, we had a really good squad. It was Bill Pergocki and I pitched, and we ended up going 16-0. Gumpy was on the team, but he struggled. A lot of that wasn't his fault. He lost his spot. Tough year for him. But then the next year, I stayed on as pitching coach. I got to work with him, worked on the slider, started getting good. He had a hell of a season, and he threw a one-hitter against Michigan State that freshman year. He just got better and better, and he ended up getting drafted and signed, and he made the big leagues, and they're so happy and proud of Dave Gumper.
Playing with Gump, I think 1980, 79 and 80, I think he played. Sully signed him, actually, he wasn't drafted. He was in Wichita too, and he impressed some scouts there. So my last year in Middleville, I decided, I'm going to skip spring practice with my baseball team and go see spring training. These scouts are behind the plate with their gun, and they're getting 87, 88, 89. He had a great sinker, and these guys were shaking their heads, these scouts. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? He ends up making the big leagues in 2 years as an undrafted free agent. Lucky enough to see him start a game at Tiger Stadium. Went back, got his teaching degree, became a teacher, coach, and then administrator in South Haven and Bloomingdale. We asked him to play a couple of years ago in a tournament in Fort Myers. He came down and played.
And I got to catch him for the first time, and I'll tell you what a treat. You spot the ball, bam, right here. You move the ball around, right on the money. It was incredible. That year we went on to win. We won the city major. He was our ace that year.
A friend of his, Tom Ainsworth, said, catcher in college, said, Gump, if you play in this Field of Dreams tournament, I'll play. So they're both here today. And they're, guess
Thank
what?
you, Tom Ainsworth.
Guess what? He's pitching and he's catching.
When we drove in, kind of gives you some goosebumps.
Was thrilled to get a chance to play with him. Had signed baseballs for all my boys. Yeah, and myself.
It's on my bucket list, and I thought, what better way to see it than to actually get to play? I just hope that today I throw the ball well.
Go, go! Steve Lewis, started playing baseball, Tempe, Arizona, Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Roberto Clemente, my hero, to Grand Rapids, where Mickey Lolich was my main left-hander. And now at the Field of Dreams, living my dream.
We were in each other's weddings. Well, he was a kid with a funny accent. He moved here from Pennsylvania. He talked funny, had kind of a southern drawl. I didn't know they talked like that. Pennsylvania, but the girls all kind of liked it. Ended up playing baseball together, and then we ended up, my kids kind of match up with his boys, and they were all buddies. We did a lot of fishing trips and things through the years. I'm hoping maybe to catch one inning more at the age of 71 or 2 if Louis gets back on the hill, so we can say we've been doing that for like 55 or 60 years.
We met in 1969. Steve, a.k.a. Louie, his junior year, my junior year too, somebody said, go pick up this new guy. We don't know really much about him, but he seems to be a good guy. So I drove over to Northville, picked him up, went and played tackle football, and we've been friends since 1969.
He always needed a ride. He never did have a car.
Mom would say, because Al had the car, the 66 Impala, I believe, and she'd say, here's $1 for Steve, and here's $2 for you, Al, for gas. Well, I'll tell you, mine started very early in life. I was 6 years old in Tempe, Arizona, and I actually started pitching at 6. But baseball from 6 to 48 or even to 71, it was a huge part of my life because it just filled a void for me.
We needed some more pitching, so we got picked up by our team, and we're playing a game down in Battle Creek, Marshall, and it goes 17 innings, and when a right-hander would come up to bat, John Anderson, our coach, would bring in Randy Brugink to pitch from the outfield, and then Steve would go in the outfield, and then when a lefty came up, he would come back and forth. It ended up 17 innings, and they scored 1 in the top of the 17th, and we scored 2. Steve was broadcasting with a fungal bat, I think the whole way there and the whole way back, all of our games.
And on the bench.
And on the bench. And as he said earlier in the interview here, we had to beat the same team twice. And then I ended up working with the guy. Geez, I can't get rid of the guy anymore. He ends up being, he thought he was my boss, but he really wasn't. And then I retired from teaching, and then he retired, I think, 2 years later. Yeah! And then you can just continue to do this. He didn't play baseball for a while.
Come on, play in the core!
I want to start playing again. So we went down to Fort Myers and played, and here we are in beautiful Dyersville playing in Field of Dreams.
Really just heart and soul was into baseball. I first met Phil when I was pitching with Aquinas, and Phil was playing for Grand Valley.
Baseball, baseball, baseball. That's what we did. That's what it is. And, you know, this is just absolutely cool. Probably the best thing. And you know what? All the wives supporting all of us is just perfect. So, hey, thank you.
Heck of a defensive catcher. And one thing I remember about Phil, as we all grew older and played the ball later in life, Phil kept just getting better and better and better. And great catcher, great guy, and I'm so happy he's playing with us here with the Valley Field team.
I first met Phil when he was playing for Polynesian Pools back in 77 or 78. We had some good battles with that team. I never played against him in college. He's a little younger than myself. But as time went on, he continued to play and became a really, really good player with Border City Brewers. But he told me years ago that one year he caught every inning, which he constituted, I think, 9 games of 9-inning games. Wow. And when I called him to see if he wanted to play down here in the tournament, he goes, "Oh, so you need a catcher that can catch all the time?" I go, "Well, maybe most of the time, but you know, we got 1 or 2 other guys that might be able to throw in a few innings." But he said, "No problem, Jesse, I'll do whatever you want." So, great guy.
The best part of this whole trip is for me to play catch with my wife out here in the cornfield and Field of Dreams. It's absolutely awesome. Come on, green machine, green machine, green machine.
Mr. Haney?
Mr. Haney.
Well, Nemo didn't go to college right away out of high school, but then had a real good summer. And Dave Kylitz from CMU happened to be at a ball game at Belknap when Polynesian Pools, the team he was playing on, was playing the team that I was playing on, Sullivan's. And Nemo went 4 for 5 with, I think he may have hit for the cycle or maybe 1 base hit shy of the cycle. So he decides to come back to Aquinas, and always jovial.
I forgot to put my jockstrap on this morning.
Had a great career at Aquinas, played 3 years. I think he was All-American.
Got Metamucil over here, Jared Tall, you know, anything like that. Guys that ate bad, the scale pectate.
Played with us for, I think, the Johnny Noto's team or Bob's Bar. Or
The Proxen. Proxen's the key. And a shot at tequila.
he's a character, and he's with us here today.
I taught her how to dangle.
My shoulders are like... Nemo, we like to call him. He had a nickname, Ima.
And he lives in Traverse City now, but he comes to Grand Rapids quite often. We play golf together quite frequently. He's a great karaoke
We go
singer.
fishing.
Wind's kind of blowing out, so there's a slight chance I could reach the corn.
And then, of course, we got to go listen to him do karaoke. He's pretty good at karaoke, but if you listen to him tell it, he is number 1.
Have at her. Well, they got me off the couch. Got me to come out here. I managed to get a hit yesterday.
Visitors.
And made contact with the other one. Made a couple plays at short. I was happy with that. I threw it all the way to first on a fly. Weather's perfect, and I'm just so glad to be here. Amen.
Tony was scrappy. There's no quitting Tony Noto.
Hi, my name's Tony Noto, and I'm here playing Field of Dreams.
Did he get a little rambunctious and over the top sometimes? Yeah.
Might have been kicked out of a
But
couple ball games.
he tried out for Ferris, and he got cut. Worked his tail off. In his senior year, he hit over 400 in the league and made all conference. Tony is, you gotta respect how hard that kid worked. And he's still that way. He owns a couple restaurants, works 12, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. You find time to come out and play with us. And we're glad you did, Tony.
Baseball been very good to me. Played Little League, my dad coaching, playing catch in the yard, 68 years old. Baseball has been a great sport for all of us. Balls are balls, strikes are strikes, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. Played for the Flaming Rat Records, played for Steelcase, played with Willie Lee. And most fun guy I've ever met. He had stories of the big time, and made baseball a lot of fun. Some of these guys here made us better. If you're not good, practice more. I always had to practice more than everybody else.
He always wanted to play with his cousin Tony Pinoto, and unfortunately Tony Pinoto passed away a few years ago.
And I'm playing for my cousin Tony Paul Noto.
And then Tony Noto, that's playing with us now, said, I'm going to continue playing in his honor, and he's wearing his name and number on the back of his jersey. And he sponsored a team for us for a while too, Johnny Notos. His temperament was quite fiery.
Tu forte, Tony, tu forte.
Got thrown out of a few games through the L screen at Kimball Stadium at an umpire after he got kicked out. And,
his gloves, his hat, his shirt.
And that was after he was the leadoff batter and got called out on a third strike. And to top it off, he did the same thing at Belknap, except this time he threw his glove over the dugout, left. There was a space between the dugout and the fence. He came back the next day, and of course it wasn't there. Kids from the neighborhood came over and scarfed it up, and he never did find that glove. He always would use the excuse, I can't play because I don't have a glove.
He can play because now he's using my A2002.
And then now he plays.
You always say you can't steal second base, your foot on first.
Lost another guy that we played in college with, Kent Marsh, Stanley Kent Marsh. He died in his mid-40s, just too young in life, and he was a good ball player, a lot of talent.
Flanked a lot of balls down in center
Yes,
field
he did.
for me.
Steve Kreinock was one, and we lost Denny Molnar, who was one of the scholarships is named after him now, or one of the awards rather, is named after him. Died in a car accident.
We had Russ Spreads too, who was a catcher at Aquinas, and he passed away recently. Two of the very important mentors in my life were Tom Hoff and John Anders. Coached Mickey Mantle's 16s, Andrew was on it, and Kathy Emery called me, says, hey, can't Adam play for you? And I says, yeah, why not, as long as Al coaches. And so Al and Adam joined up with us, and Adam got to play, and we were down there at the Mickey Mantle. We lost to an Illinois team that was loaded, and they all threw over 85, I think. But we lost like 1-0. We did lose Adam, and he's dearly missed.
Now here, Field of Dreams tournament, wearing names of former teammates or former major league players that are deceased. Not for ourselves, but for them, really. Being close to the field and the outdoor atmosphere. Baseball is just a long-lasting history of unusual characters that have played the game. Time goes on, you continue to read about your heroes and some of the folks that played one inning in the major leagues. And, it starts in the spring when it's kind of cold, and it ends up in the summer when it's hot, and then kind of ends in the coolness of the fall too.
The most memorable thing is sitting there watching Bill Mazeroski hit that home run that sealed the deal against the mighty Yankees. Fell in love with the Pirates and Roberto Clemente and Smokey Burgess, and they had a great announcer, Bob Prince. I would listen every night, transistor radio, every game, fall asleep, listen to them. And my mom would come in and try to sneak the transistor radio from me. And I said, Mom, I'm listening to that. As the old Field of Dreams, baseball has always been constant in America.
Hey, come on, Lloyd.
Missed the call.
Well, Brett, and Steve and I and Buzz Weinbeek didn't have a team to play on, so we got on the free agent list, and Brett was the manager of the free agent team called the Knights, and so we hooked up with him, and in the tournament.
We called ourselves the Three Migos from Michigan.
And we ended up playing with his team, the Atlanta Buzz, the next year for 2 or 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah.
I can't remember which.
They liked us. He fit in real well with that team.
He coached the team, him and another guy named Ronnie Richmond, that was a good friend of ours. And then last year he decides to we're going to want to play in the 70 and over in Sunshine Classic, and I called him up and I said, hey, you want to play? He goes, yeah, but who's going to coach? And I go, well, maybe you. And so he decided he was going to coach.
I got into baseball. I was out 22 years. I started 40 as an alternate. I've been playing every year since I was 40. I'm 72, and I just can't get enough of it.
So we picked up a few guys on the free agent list, made some phone calls, emails, texts, and ended up playing there. And then I called him about a month and a half ago. We needed another pitcher and infielder. I said, hey, Brent, you want to come to the Field of Dreams? I've never been there. Yeah, of course I'm going to come.
I'm Brent Phelps. I'm from South Georgia. I got invited with the Grand Rapids team to come up here to Field of Dreams.
And he decided to come and bring his lovely wife Nancy with him.
To come here really is kind of a dream for me. So
he's been a really integral part of our team so far because 3 innings yesterday and we got 1 or 2 hits. And just a great guy, just a great human being.
I appreciate it. And baseball is just all my Saturday Sundays are taken up with baseball.
Over here.
Anyway, it's been wonderful to be here.
I got to know Quentin a little bit more in the last maybe 3-4 years. Getting to know him up in Manistee, I believe. He was up in Manistee and started talking about Papas's boys and learning more about Q, because Q's kind of a quiet guy, and once you get to know him, he kind of opens up a little more. And I really enjoyed getting to meet him and his wife. Glad Q's with us, and he loves the game just like the rest of us.
Yeah, Quentin played, I played against him years and years ago, back when we had 30 teams in the Grand Rapids City League.
Hey, this is Quentin Reeder. I'm at Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa. Chance to get out and play baseball like we did when we were kids.
He had his own team, Intech Maroon, that he started playing with us. I can't recall exactly how many years ago, maybe 5 or 6. And was pretty impressed how well he could play, considering that I believe he just turned 77.
A young 77.
Young 77. He loves to bicycle. It keeps him in shape. Like Louis said, he's just kind of a quiet, reserved guy. He's a competitor. Loves to play the game, and he's originally from, I think, Scottville.
Now you mentioned Q and the Maroons. And yeah, we played for the Maroons in Arizona.
Yeah.
Phil Clemens put it together.
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah, and Q's that was his team, and we got to use his uniforms, and we had a fun time. It's the only time I ever got to Arizona to play.
Yeah, 2002. So that was just a mere 22 years ago.
I've known Jerry quite a few years, playing with and mostly against him early in our careers, and now getting to play with him a little more. Jerry, another quiet guy that goes about his business, and he's a solid player, good bunter, good contact hitter, and a really good fielder, and he's a pleasure to have on the team.
Jerry, as Louis said, we played against him for many years. He played with Zanos for 30+ years in the Lakeland Electric.
This is Jerry Hughes. This is my second time playing here, and it never gets old. It is just as good as it was 2 years ago.
A few years back, we decided that we were just getting a little bit too old to play in the unlimited age group against 20-year-old guys throwing hard. So Jerry said to me, hey, why don't we start a 40 and over league here in Grand Rapids? And so we did. We started out with 2 teams. We played each other 10 times. And eventually, over time, we expanded to 4 teams. and 8 teams, and then this past year we had 9 teams. In the open division, unlimited age group, only had 3. Great guy, always willing to do whatever it takes to win, and nice human being, and glad to have him on the team, and just really got to know him a lot better in the last 10 years or so. We've had a lot of discussions, a lot of meetings, a lot of emails, and things of that sort. Gone to Florida together with him, gone to Arizona with him to play on some teams, and just enjoyed his friendship, camaraderie, and organizational skills, and getting our 40 over league in Grand Rapids started. Matter of fact, we've talked now about starting a 16 over league. If we can at least get 2 teams of guys that can at least walk around out there without crutches or walkers.
Jerry's wearing the name to honor Craig Worm on his back. They were really good buddies, and one of our guys we lost a few years back, and Craig was just a wonderful player and just a wonderful guy, and he's dearly missed.
Steve, like a lot of our guys on our team, our friends, started coaching his kids, and then got out of playing baseball for a while, and then later on played with their sons.
I remember watching a lot of these guys playing with Zanos and a few other teams over the years. We played with a lot of these guys' kids. Pretty fun to see him back out here.
Out there doing what he loves to do. He teaches our kids how to play, and we're happy to get to sit on this side of the fence and see him play out there.
And so a few years back, he decided he wanted to play a little bit more, and Jerry said, yeah, why don't you call Steve and have him play?
Hi, I'm Steve Westorp, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Actually, I got invited to play in this tournament, and I thought, what a great opportunity. I brought my son here, 2 boys, and we came in here, and we did a little BP on the field back then.
This year we needed a player for one of our games, and I texted Steve and said, hey, in the morning, would you like to play tonight? He said, yeah, I'm in Cadillac right now, but I'll be at the game. Well, I didn't really know, but he was on the 4th leg of his 400-mile bike ride. So on a White Pine Trail, he made it to the field, standing at his bicycle, behind him in his van or motorhome, whichever it was. And I think got a couple hits that day. But I asked him years ago, why. He's a pretty big guy, about 6'3", about maybe 205 or so. I said, why didn't you ever play in college? He goes, yes. He said, when I was a senior, I weighed like 112 pounds. I was a wrestler. Yeah, I couldn't get out of the infield hardly, and he's been a joy to have on the team. And always happy, always had a smile on his face, and just a great guy too.
Interesting thing about Steve, I actually played baseball with his brother Larry, his older brother, in 1971 that summer. And then I didn't meet Steve for quite a few years after that, and we actually coached against each other. He was coaching Anderson's team, and I was coaching Frozen Ropes, and we met in district championship, had some really good games, and then we started playing quite a bit together there, and Steve was like top notch, one of the best players in our age group, and great guy, very, very personal, and he's got a great family, and they were all here at the game supporting Papa, so it was awesome.
Go Papa!
Game, guys. Heck of a game. That was a game.
Buzzy Wine me. First met him when he was driving his hippie van, and his cute wife with him, Linda. And I'm thinking, who's this crazy guy? He had that little hard helmet with no ear flaps and big old bushy hair and beard. And got to know Buzzy pretty good. In '76, I played with Sheplers. Buzzy just hit the tire off ball. He hit 5 home runs against Sullivan's ex. And this dude is 5'7", 140 pounds, and he's fast. 75, and the dude still can play.
76 last week.
Oh, 76. Stand correct.
Buzz Weinbeek, outfielder for the Valley Field legends.
I first met Buzz at Valley Field in the so-called locker room at Valley Field. There was algae and moss and a couple of old wooden benches that were probably there when they built the field in 1937.
So we were playing a lot of games at Valley at the time, playing on Dodos with Buzzy, Louie, and Jesse and I.
We're honoring some legends from Valley Field that we've played with over the years, and we wanted to have them be here in spirit with us.
He never played during the year for Sullivan's, the team that I played on, but Sully would always pick him up. He would go to Europe and go to Wichita and be a leadoff hitter. And even though he was a small guy, he had good power and was very, very fast. And so he stole a lot of bases, and at that time he was catching using basket style, just like Willie Mays.
Roberto Clemente.
No, Willie Mays. And he told me a story later on that his coach at Calvin College told him he can't use a basket catcher anymore, and if he did, he was going to sit. So he decided he wasn't going to listen. He caught one, basket style, and Zhang sat it for a couple games. But we became good friends and have traveled to various tournaments. At the age of 76, still runs, snowshoes, plays ball, just a wonderful human being.
We went early to a game. It had been raining all day. We didn't know if we were going to have it. Turns out the game was a washout. We brought the boys to the park. We had his two boys, two of them, and I had my two. And Buzzy had Ricky who was there. We said, "Oh my gosh, we got to do something." It was pouring rain and mud puddles and standing water all over. So we crawled under the fence because we couldn't get in. They had the fence down. Crawled under the fence and went out and ran the bases in the mud. And the boys were at first sliding bags and sliding into home and just having a ball. Well, they were so muddy that we had to take them home and put the drive, hose them all off with the hoses. Moms were all mad at us because everything was just disgusting, covered with mud. But it was just a blast. It was a dad thing. It was so much fun.
Well, if I remember right, though, now the kids, we lifted the fence and we were just a little too big, so we had to climb.
Buzz Weinbeek, outfield, and field advantage.
Twice.
Hello, I'm Jesse Young. I'm a coach of the Valley Field Legends. It's an honor to coach these guys that I've either known, played with, or played against for 50 plus years.
We used to go watch him play baseball when he played for Sullivan's. And that goes back to my dad taking me to games. When I was a little kid, we used to go anytime a Tiger was there. We'd go to the Valley and watch baseball, so that became kind of a tradition. So then I could watch Jesse. And we've had a number of adventures through the years, starting in about, actually, probably our junior and senior year in high school.
We were thespians
We
together.
were thespians after baseball practice. Barry Bradford talked us into being in a play and wished we'd have done it sooner. I was the class clown and up and down staircase, which
Still are.
kind of fit the role.
I had a non-speaking role.
Oh, yeah, so I think we got into plays. There was a lot of cute girls. They used to be in the play. We get to hang out with those girls? Yeah.
My boy Jesse, we hooked up really good after baseball, after high school. We went on that summer, and we ended up playing down in Marshall in the 5-state regional. Unbelievably, we beat a team that the Anderson-Age lost 5 times during the season, and we lost once to them in the tournament. So we had to beat them 2 in a row. We had a coach named John Anderson who was phenomenal. And we somehow won that sucker, and we ended up overtime afterwards. Playing in JC together. I lived with the young family for 6 months. We played ping pong every day. We broke paddles, so then we went with the frying pan. And Jesse hit 400 that year, his freshman year. And we attribute that hand-eye coordinating and hitting the snot out of the ball. It helped me too. And then beyond that, we went to Aquinas, and Jesse continued at Aquinas, so we did hook up. I was a junior, he was a senior. But after that, we faced each other in the NBC State Final. I was pitching for Scheffler, and we were beating Sullivan's 4-2. There's 3,000 people there. Jesse comes up with the guy on. I threw a ball. He swung, and he hit a 306. Just, I think it hit a gnat going over the fence and was sitting on top of the fence. And Jesse's jogging around with the biggest grin I've ever seen. And I am cussing him out all the way around, saying, "You son of a bitch, why'd you swing at that? You shouldn't have been swinging at that." And he just kept the grinning and kept the jogging.
406
And
actually.
Hard to believe, but I still love the guy. Even after he did that to me, I still love him.
Right over the house.
Hey guys.
That was fun. Thanks for having me on the team.
The man with the magnet in his glove.
We had Nemo make a double play at the end. That brought back lots of memories.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a joy. By far, this is the best experience I had this year. Drank a lot of beer, played a lot of baseball. That's the name of the game, right?
And you hit the ball, Jess.
I've been saying to my wife, I'm going to the Field of Dreams, baby, and when it's over, I'm going to peel my unis, throw my equipment, and leave it here.
But you reneged on that. I can tell. He reneged on that.
We want to see that.
But every other lie you
However,
told your wife.
the wife did say, if you got your butt shaved, you
There
can
you
still
go.
play.
There you
I
go.
said, I can? All right.
Hey, great climb, great meeting a lot of you. Had a lot of fun. Historic field.
Let's do this again.
I like seeing these Valley Field uniforms.
Played Little League from high school to college to wherever we got. The rest of you guys could have been one of the Ben brothers. Would have been, could have been, should have been. But you've all been my friends, so thank you very much.
Just a great bunch of guys. This was some I knew, some I didn't, some I played with. But this was on my wife and I bucket list for a number of years. So we're going to go to Field of Dreams, Jesse gave me a call. I said, oh, God, yes, I'm in. I don't care if I suck, where I'm in.
Hey, your on base percentage was pretty good. Yeah.
You were the first one I called.
I tell you what, it was a lot of fun playing with a lot of old teammates. I mean, think of the pictures we got, Aquinas, JC, Sullivan's, wherever. But just wonderful that we're all able to still do this at this time. And appreciate you guys letting me get a couple innings in. You
guys, know a lot of each other, so I'm really late to the party. But just been great, starting there, becoming a good baseball player. You guys let me out on the field, and what happens after that's your responsibility.
36 years ago, I wasn't playing baseball. Chief, Jerry. So this has been a dream, and I want to really thank Jesse for getting us all together.
Jesse.
Getting us back with you guys.
Yeah.
But we need to thank the wives. My wife's a big supporter.
Yeah.
So that's a touch in my heart.
Phil and I have been married 26 years, and he's been playing baseball ever since, and I honestly dread the day that he won't be able to play.
It's a long process. I can't even count the number of games I've sat through.
He gets to travel everywhere.
Adventures.
Yeah, wherever the ball games take us, that's where we go.
Screaming and yelling.
I've watched him for close to 50 years.
Oh my God. It's great. It's fun. We're having a great time today.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
He doesn't know if he ever wants to do this again, but in a year I would not be surprised if he's back. Fun, because I love sports. All sports, really. I like you guys. Cut.
Actually, he's 77. This is just continuing the game here. He's great.
Come here to get to throw off the mountain. Special.
Yeah.
I couldn't even sleep last night. Thanks, guys, for coming through and picking me up. And man, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Next year. Yeah. Hey, and who in their right mind would have ever thought I'd have hit in front of Phil Mary?
Hey, just short and quick. I just want to thank Justin and all you guys for letting me play this year. It was fun.
You guys were really nice to me. Normally they don't let me bat. Or pitch.
You were a big stick for us.
But I enjoyed it, and you guys were really nice to me. Letting me come in and play.
Camaraderie is good no matter where you're at, what you're doing.
Come on, play in our green over. Green machine, green machine, green machine. Who's got a medal in there?
The Valley Field Legends, a team of seasoned baseball players on a journey into the history of the world of baseball. Set in the small town of Dyersville, Iowa, home to the legendary Field of Dreams. See the magic of a place where ball players, both young and old, come to relive the rich history of the game and feel that baseball is more than just a sport. It is a part of our heritage, a bond that ties Americans together and a timeless testament to dreams of young men and women all across this great nation who aspire to be something more, a dream achieved, a full life lived. As seasoned veterans and fans alike step onto the hallowed grounds of the Field of Dreams, they are reminded that life, like baseball, isn't about the fear of striking out, but the courage to chase after what matters most. With a message that echoes far beyond the diamond, the Valley Field Legends invites you to join them on their journey. Let them inspire you to become a part of your own dreams and experience firsthand the beauty of believing in something bigger than themselves. Baseball is more than a game. It's memories that can be shared long after the final pitch has been thrown.
Got a question for you. Is this heaven?
And Fred Todd starts to raise his hand up and call a strike, and then he inches his ear. Mickey Knight's just looking at him, shaking his head. But you know what? Hey, we got a game to play.
That's right.
We got our last game at the Field of
2-0,
Dreams.
baby. We need one more game.
We got a game to play.
3-0 at the Field of Dreams.
We got to get ready to go.
Will I ever get invited to see Valley Field?